My why? I want to meet girls. That was the why when I was 14 years old. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Let's talk a little bit about why. Why do you want to exercise? Why are you planning to exercise? Why do you have the goals you have? What is the reason behind what you're doing? I get asked that quite often, and people quite often say to me, Devin, okay, why do you get out of bed first thing in the morning and do cardio? Devin, why are you so intense about working out? You know, those are legitimate questions, I think, because let's get down to it. We need to boil down to the reason you do things, because if you don't know why you're doing things, then you're probably not going to continue doing them. I talk to clients quite often about their why, and we're going to talk about your why, my why, and why in general we're doing this. Before we get going, hit that like and subscribe down below. Hit the subscribe down there and the bell on the other side. The bell will tell you when I'm making another video. I try to make videos that are health and fitness related. I've been doing this for 28 years now. I've been a trainer for 28 years. I think I still look pretty good for being 28 years into it. And I've owned a gym for 11 years now. So my goal here is to make videos that will give you good, interesting information about health and fitness, which is what I know about. I know about that. I don't know about a lot of other things, but I do know health and fitness. I can help people get fit and lose weight and get leaner. Those are the things I'm good at. So please share this with your friends. Comment down below if you've got things you want me to talk about. Most of these videos come from people asking me questions and me responding on here. Well, I answer the question to them first, obviously. I don't just be like, oh, I'm going to do a video on that. All right, let's talk about your why. And I'm going to talk about my why first. So as a kid, super shy, pretty introverted. I'm not an introvert by nature, but I was very shy as a kid, not real comfortable in my own skin. Didn't have a lot of friends, just that's who I was. I read a lot of books and was not super athletic. My brother asked for a weight bench and weights from my parents when I was younger, like 9 or 10 maybe. He went to university. I started to lift weights on my own. I think I was 14 years old when I started. Had no idea what I was doing, but I did know this. Girls didn't like me. I wasn't very muscular, and I wanted to change both those things. It's pretty much the outcome. The whole reason I did it was girls didn't like me and I wanted to be big and muscular. I liked football a lot. I liked bodybuilding a lot. I looked at those guys. I'm like, they look like they're badasses. I think people respect them. I think girls will like them. In my mind, that's where I went. And you know, when I started working out at 14 years old, I am 48 years old now, so I'm a ways into it. Haven't stopped yet. That was the original why. Now the why did change along the route. Obviously, my why now is more about health, fitness, feeling good, all those other things. Those things did come along. But the root of it was girls didn't like me. I was very shy. I assumed if I was more fit, girls would like me more. That was the whole reason. I wanted girls to like me, period. That was my why. Now, what's funny is people, when I tell them that story, they're like, wow, that's kind of a shallow why. I don't think there is such a thing as a shallow why for why we exercise. I think actually any why is good. Some people, part of what I do now is because I want to be healthy later. I have 4 kids. I want to be healthy for those kids later, so when they have children, I can be an engaged grandparent. I can, spend time with my children. I want to be able to do the things I want to do when I'm 60, 70, and 80 years old without limitation. That's important to me. That has become my why. Sounds a little better, right, than meeting women, but that's probably because I'm married now, and I'm not worried about meeting women anymore. I have 1 woman. But your why doesn't really have to be some big, important thing. It just has to be important to you. When I was a kid, women, girls, when I was a teenager at 14 years old, very important. Couldn't meet a lot of girls, not very popular. So you know what? That was a big deal to me. That was a very important thing. Obviously, I wasn't thinking about heart health when I was 14. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I thought I'd live forever. I wasn't thinking about, being strong in my 60s because I could have cared less. So what does it really boil down to now? What is your why and how do you figure out what your why is? Well, what I talk to clients when they sit down, I say, what are your goals? And they say, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. I want to have abs. I want to be leaner. I want to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, okay, excellent. Why? Why do you want to do that? And this is a tough question for people because sometimes somebody's like, I don't know. And that just, to me, it's an opportunity to have a conversation and decide, is this something that you want to do? Why are you doing it? I mean, I had a client come in one time and she wanted to get more fit because she was concerned her husband was not interested in her anymore. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad why. That could be your why. But I like whys that have to do with yourself or something about you that you want to fix. I think those are whys you stick with a little better than a why that, I don't know, I want to impress my husband so he doesn't cheat on me. To me, you know what I mean, the husband cheating on you or not cheating on you, that is something you need to discuss with your husband, I think, personally. That would be my own 2 cents on that one. I think it's important to have a why that you care about, though. I mean, for her, that was important, I guess. But I do think it needs to be a little bit bigger, more important than that. But again, in the end of the day, whatever your why is that gets you up out of bed in the morning is your why. When my wife said to me the other day, you're so good. You get up every single morning and you go do cardio. And it's never a problem. And I'm like, you know what? There's lots of days I don't want to. But in my mind, I know, listen, Devin, if you want to be lean, if you want your heart to be strong, if you want to live a long time, get your ass out of bed. That gets me up. The hardest part about exercise really is getting to the gym. No one goes to the gym and says, you know what, boy, I wish I hadn't done that workout. Like, once you're done, you're like, yeah, that was great. I'm glad I did that. Every single person does it. My wife does not love exercise. She's not enormously into it. She exercises, but she's not super excited about it. But you know what? She has never once said, boy, I wish I hadn't exercised. Nobody does that. So the why is what gets you up and going. Now, your why could be anything. Your why can be about your kids and being able to play sports with them. Your why could be anything, but it's got to be strong enough to get your ass out of bed in the morning. When, 5:45 and my alarm goes off, my why has to get me out of bed going, all right, get moving, Dev. For me, it's about being leaner so I can, feel good, move around, my heart is strong, I don't die young. That's why I do it. I'm also super stubborn because once I get something in my head, and that's the nice thing about it, once you know your why, it will make you more stubborn. I am, like I said, super, super stubborn. If I get something in my head and I'm going to do it, God damn it, I'm going to do it. I will not back down until it's done, period, end of discussion. That's just how I am. I don't like to do anything in halves. Everything is like full on with me. That can be very good when it comes to business. It can be very good when it comes to fitness. It's not always so good when it comes to personal stuff, but you know what? I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress, let's be honest. I'm a work in progress. It is important, though, that your why is strong enough to get you up. And the way you figure out what your why is, you say, okay, what's the goal? Okay, what is your goal? Answer that right out loud right now. What is your goal? Why? It's that easy. Now, sometimes you'll say, my goal is to have abs. Why? Well, I'd like to have abs. The next question is why? Because I think they look good. Why? Because I've always wanted abs, I've never had them. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Why is that? Well, I've never really exercised and pushed myself hard enough. But why is that? Because I've always been scared of failure. Okay, there you go. Sometimes you have to say why 5 times. Sometimes you have to say why 6 times. But if you have to say why 6 times, that's okay. Do it. Just go through it. Every single time you say it, say, okay, why do I want to do this? What do you want? Why? And just ask the why until you boil it down to the reason you actually want to do the thing, and then decide if that's a good reason. For the most part, when you boil it down to the root reason, just like with me, my why, I want to meet girls. That was the why when I was 14 years old. That was the why. It was 100% the only thing I cared about. I wanted girls to like me. But as you get older, the whys do change, but it's okay. Boil it down to the point where you want this, and you want this for a reason, and then that why will get you out of bed, it will get you to the gym, it will get you eating better. It makes everything in life easier if you know your why. And it's actually, like I said, a very simple thing to do. Ask the question, what you want in your goal, and then ask why. And ask why a couple times until you can answer it honestly. And once you've answered it honestly and you're like, yeah, okay, that's what I want, now you have your why. That will get you out of bed, it'll get you moving, you'll eat better, you will remember that why because it's important to you. it's important to you. For me, it's important now as a 48-year-old man that, I'm healthy for my kids, that my heart is strong, that I feel good, that I have lots of energy. Those things are important. So I'll do them. And I get my ass out of bed at 5:45 in the morning every day. It doesn't bother me. I don't get stressed out. I'm like, I got to get up in the morning. None of that happens because you know what? My why is strong enough to get me up. Your why can be strong enough to get you up too. You just got to figure out what it is. You have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below or tell me what your why is. I love to hear what people's why is for exercise. Write that up down below in the comments. I will respond, I promise. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.